the point where I'm about to pick the smallest, countryest town and just up and move. Like, there's no reason why I should have to work 2 jobs to barely be able to survive in Atlanta.
Rent should not take up, a big portion of your monthly earnings.
How is everyone affording life? Real question.
So people feel like they're falling behind. But then I saw this. Over half of people are living paycheck to paycheck right now. So it's not just you, it's everybody.
How are people surviving these days? Because anytime I get on this app, I see people, Apartment Hunter NYC, basically saying it's hard for them to even find an apartment under their budget. I mean, I've seen some people saying 1 bedrooms going for over $7,000, which I think is insane. I even saw one where it's like $11,000 for 1 bedroom. There is just, I'm sorry, there's no way in the world a 1 bedroom cost $11,000 to rent. That's just too damn much. And then go on LinkedIn, you see a bunch of people saying, open to work, just been laid off, everybody getting fired, so nobody got jobs, and anyone with the job can't even afford to live. I mean, something gotta be done, because at this point, it's becoming the have and have-nots, and the have-nots is becoming bigger, and the haves is becoming smaller.
I just want to cry right now. I stopped after work to BJ's, right? Just to get the essentials, milk, eggs, bread, stuff like that. Stuff for lunch, for work. Some snacks. This bill was almost $300. $300. I almost died at the register. Then I had to get gas. And the gas is $4.59 in my town. So between food and gas, like, what are we doing? Who is in charge of this bullshit? Who? Because I didn't sign up for this. Did you sign up for this? Because this is insane.
When I was in my early 20s, I would say I was like 23 years old. It was just my son and I at the time. I had a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment. It was 1,162 square feet. 3rd floor, valet trash. Okay, valet trash. Beautiful water view. Screened-in balcony. I was paying $798 a month. Oh, washer and dryer was included as well. Washer and dryer was included in my unit. Updated appliances, hardwood floors. And this was in 2013, 14. Yeah, 2013, because my son was turning 1 when I moved into that apartment. So yeah, this was 2013, 2014. My rent was $798. $798. That same exact apartment today in 2026, and I went and looked at the pictures. The apartment looks the exact same. It doesn't look like they've done anything to it that from 2013. And that same apartment is now running you anywhere from $1,200 to $1,600 per month, depending on where the unit is located on the property.
Listen, man, the cost of living is so high right now. It's no longer just money pressure, man. It's mental pressure too. So my lease is up in 2 months, and I'm sitting here doing the math like, do I stay where it's cheaper, or do I level up and struggle even harder just to get that peace of mind? And like, that's the part that nobody talks about, right? Because it's not just your bills. It's not just rent, man. It's that mental pressure of knowing that your environment that you're in right now isn't safe, but your wallet isn't ready for the upgrade yet. And it's not that people are lazy, man. People are just trying to survive things that sometimes don't got easy answers. So it's like, now what do you do? Right? Do you stay somewhere where you hear things that you shouldn't hear, right? You're seeing things that you shouldn't see just to keep a roof over your head? Or do you risk it all, man? Do you risk it all, stretch yourself thin just for a chance of peace? But listen, I'm going to be real with you, man. Don't get used to surviving, man, because that's when you stop fighting for better. But I need y'all to be real with me. Which one are you choosing? Are you choosing safety or are you choosing affordability?
I was just watching a video and this lady was saying that she spent roughly her mortgage of $1,800 last month on groceries. Why are my glasses crooked? Okay. And I remember like a year ago, I made a post. It was probably like my 3rd or 4th most popular post I've ever made, saying that I spent like $1,500 for my family of 4 on groceries, and I got crucified. Some people could relate, some people no. If you spend over $400 a month, you're crazy. $400 a month? Are you shopping at the Dollar Tree?
I'm at the point where I'm about to pick the smallest, countryest town
and just up and move. Like, there's no reason why I should have to work 2 jobs to barely be able to survive in Atlanta. Like, I'm ready to go. I used to live in a small town called Moberly, Missouri. It was probably like 5,000 people in that town. It didn't have nothing but Walmart and some hopes and dreams in it. Like, if you got some suggestions on where to move, drop them in the comments below. I'll move tomorrow.
How is everyone affording life? Real question. How are you guys doing it? Because my daycare costs the same as our mortgage, which is just wild to me. And I had a crash out earlier today just about how like really expensive everything really truly is. And I just don't know how you guys are doing it. So I have a corporate 6-figure job. I should be able to afford life. We're not doing anything wrong. Just life is expensive. And I'm the breadwinner in my household. There's this like constant stress, like hanging over my head all the time of you got to make more to provide for your family, especially in this day and age. And it's wild because at the same time, I'm stuck in these corporate handcuffs and I am going through burnout. I don't want to continue doing this. I have like the mental load, hanging over my head. I'm trying to be a good mom, let alone like a good wife, daughter, sister, friend, which I'm failing at all of those things, I feel like. And if you have any tips or tricks of how you're getting through, would love to connect on them because it's wild. Hang in there. Have a good day.
More people are relying on credit cards right now just to cover everyday expenses, not emergencies, everyday life. So now it's not just expensive. People are going into debt just trying to live.
Hey, so I want to revisit this whole this conversation about rent, right? A couple weeks ago, you know what I'm saying, maybe a month ago, I had made a post talking about how rent being $1,500 a month is too expensive, to the average person's standard, right? And there's people that will argue that, $1,500 for rent is cheap and blah, blah, blah. Again, it's all subjective. But let me put it to you this way. The best way to look at this, the most philosophical way to look at this, right? If it is that you get paid every week, right? Your rent should not be more than your paycheck. So if your rent is $1,500 a week, $1,500 a month, then your paycheck must be at least $2,000 a week. Not too many people are making that. You know what I'm saying? Not too many people are making that. And they're especially not making that off of a 40-hour week. Like, that, it's just not happening. You understand what I'm saying? So again, unless you're making $2,000 a week, your rent should not be $1,500 a month. You understand what I'm saying? Because it should not. One paycheck should not be less or even the same as your rent. You know what I'm saying? It should not take accumulatively a few paychecks or a couple of paychecks for you to pay your rent. That's the point that I'm trying to make to y'all. I can guarantee you that the average person cannot name 2 or 3 people who make $2,000 a week. So let's just stop this argument. You understand what I'm saying? Again, rent, the bottom line is rent shouldn't be as high as it is. You know what I'm saying? Your life should not be based off of you working just to keep a roof over your head, especially when you're not even going to spend enough time under that roof to begin with. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just be real. Like, rent should not be fucking more than $500 to $1,000. I don't care how beautiful the apartment is. You know what I'm saying? Rent should not take up, a big portion of your monthly earnings. So if it's $1,500 and you make $6,000 a month, then that means your rent is a fourth. It's 25% of what you make. That's crazy.
So I saw one of the comments on my videos that said we're doing everything right and we're still falling behind. We're still failing. And that's the part people are finally starting to wake up to, because this isn't about bad decisions anymore. This is about people, it's not about people being irresponsible. It's about the math simply not working the way it used to. And when you break it down, it becomes really fucking obvious why people feel stuck. The average household now needs somewhere in the range of, $75,000 to $80,000 just to cover basic living expenses expenses in many parts of Canada. And that's not luxuries. That's, housing, food, transportation, childcare, basics. And yet a huge percentage of people, are either at that level or below it, which means there's no margin, there's no buffer. And when there's no buffer, every unexpected expense becomes a problem, like a car repair, a utility spike, a grocery bill that's higher than expected. And it all adds up. And, at the same time, you have record household debt levels pushing past, $2.5 trillion, which tells you something else. People aren't just cutting back. They're bridging the gap with credit. And that works for a while until it doesn't. And that's where the pressure really starts to build, because now it's not just a matter of making ends meet. It's about managing the cost of trying to make ends meet. And what's frustrating for a lot of people is that they've already made the adjustments they were told to make. They've cut subscriptions, they've reduced spending, they're, fucking couponing, they're delayed purchasing. They've done everything that falls under the category of being responsible, and it still feels tight. And that's where the disconnect is happening, because the advice people are getting doesn't fucking match the reality they're living in. And when those two things line up, it creates frustration, not because people don't want to take responsibility, but because they feel like they already are and it's still not enough. And that's why you're seeing more conversations around this, more people speaking up, more people saying this doesn't feel right, because it isn't just an individual issue anymore, okay? It's something broader. It's something structural. And you don't have to look very far to see it. You see it in rising rents. You see it in grocery bills that keep creeping up. You see it in people working full-time and still feeling like they're just holding on. And that's not what most people signed up for when they were building their lives, right? They expected a certain degree of stability. If they worked hard, if they put in the effort, and they, and they were responsible, they expected that effort would lead to some level of security. And right now that equation feels off. And when that equation feels off, people start questioning everything. Not, in a dramatic way, but in a very practical way. Like, how the fuck do I actually get ahead if this is the baseline now? And that's the question more and more people are asking quietly, consistently, and, with a level of frustration that, quite frankly, is hard to ignore.
Let me ask you something. How is it possible to work full time, do everything right, and still feel broke? Because right now, a lot of people are asking the same question.